this president has proposed trying to see what we can do, talking with Iran, not only by ourselves, but an unprecedented level with some of our allies and some folks who may not be, you know, because I think you have to have everybody there with the P5+1. And as I hear the dialogue going back and forth, you know, the question that I ask myself sometimes, and I guess the first question that I would ask you, because it just seemed as though when we were successful with sanctions, it was when it became multilateral and not just unilateral. And if we want to make sure that we contain Iran and make sure that they don't have a nuclear weapon, and if they violate any of the, don't allow the IAEA to get in or anything of that nature, then I would think that if we have to ramp up sanctions, we would want to be able to do that with other nations, because that seems as though when it has been successful. And so given Iran's history, that, and from what I've heard thus far, which makes sense to me, that if they don't follow through, and they're not going to follow through, then we're going to need to make sure that we still have unity among ourselves so that we can make sure that those sanctions that we have to put on or implement are not sanctions that's just done by the United States, but are sanctions that are also done by the P5+1 countries. So they become very important to us, I think. So you know, and I'm going back and forth and thinking, though, so the effort, at least the initial effort that's being made to have negotiations under the P5+1 and to make sure that the IAEA has access to whatever they're doing there, it seems to me tremendously important, because we've not been there before. We want to verify what they're doing and what they're not doing extremely. So